All right, this is Abuja here. End hardship protest is commencing any moment from now. You know, wherever you are in Nigeria, no grief for anybody today.
No grief for anybody.
No grief for anybody. Kano, Abuja, Lagos, they are reaching out to you. Edo, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Kashina Sef,
No grief for anybody.
Zamfara, no grief for government, no grief for bandits. Yes. Anyway, na government be bandits anyway, na defend them.
Government be bandits.
No grief for anybody, no?
No grief for anybody.
Yes. It's about to start. You know. It's about to go down, man. Abuja president, how is it? Good morning. How are you? Okay.
This is my colleague Kasarachi and
yes.
We're journalists with the Whistler newspaper, and I would like to have a few words with you.
Yeah, okay. Let's do that very quickly. Yeah.
We are just.
Okay, this way. Or should we say this way? Yeah, come here.
All right.
This way. Sir, this way. Okay.
Okay.
There is a revolution currently happening at the NLC ground where it is supposed to be for protest.
The protest.
What is the interest of the revolutionary campaign?
Our interest is to bring about the revolution in Nigeria. That's been our interest since 2019. So, what else do you have a problem with?
No, I don't really have a problem with the revolution. However, NLC said this is going to be a peaceful protest.
Are you a member of the NLC?
No, I'm a reporter.
Okay, so why are you worried about what banners people are carrying? This is not their country. It's a collaboration between the NLC and civil society organizations and movements to end hunger and starvation and poverty and end corruption in the country. So whatever people carry or demonstrate with is none of your problem. It is their own decision to decide how they want to demonstrate today. So the NLC has not complained to you. So why are you complaining?
So what does this protest stand to achieve? I mean, we are all here. We have a nationwide protest going on. Yes. So what do we stand to achieve after this protest?
I think the protest, by the declaration made by NLC, is very clear that they want to end hardship in the country. And you cannot end hardship without ending the people who cause hardship in Nigeria. And you know them, the people in government who are earning maximum wage, while workers are earning minimum wage, which is 30,000 naira, an unconscionable minimum wage. Senators in this country are earning 14 million naira per month. Workers are earning 30,000 naira per month. If I was in the NSC, my decision would be to say that let senators be earning 30,000 naira per month and see if there be anybody going to the Senate. Yes.
Okay, so lastly, when you did make mention of you cannot end the sufferings of the people without ending, what do you mean by the word ending?
You have to end the operators of this suffering. You have to end the system that make people poor, perpetually in a country that's one of the 6th largest producer of crude oil in the world. You have to end the culture in Nigeria that allows somebody to walk away with $109 billion naira and then get a chieftaincy title after that. Whereas people who are stealing chicken are sent to jail. People are stealing Nokia 3310. There's one of the guys that just got out of jail in Nasarawa. He was accused of stealing a Nokia phone. He spent 2 years in jail. Yes. But MFLA that stole, they haven't even finished the calculation. He has already been granted bail. He has been granted his passport. I heard he has even traveled for medical care abroad. The Buhari, who caused all this problem, is enjoying himself. So, how do you continue to have a country where we reward criminals while we punish innocent people?
So if you are the federal government, what would you do after this repeated and I would say probably unproductive protest like NLC?
You see, I think you've made up your mind before you came here to come and insult people by saying that their protest is unproductive. How do you know that a protest is unproductive when the protest has not even started? Come on now.
That's shameful.
You know, you are a journalist. You are supposed to cover the event and tell us how you feel after the event. Not to run out and say that the protest is unproductive.
It's a back cut of idea.
Yes, the protest has not started. We have not been out there yet. If it's not productive, why is the government calling for meetings to discuss new minimum wage? Why is the police panicking? Why is the DSS here today if it's not going to be productive? Because they know that a massive protest in the country will bring about the desired change for workers and our citizens. This protest deals with the requests of students, workers, and non-workers, because majority of Nigerians don't even have a job. Yes. So the informal sector is involved, the formal sector is involved. The only people who are not protesting today is the 5% in Nigeria who have access to dollars to sell, the senators, the governors, and their assistants. I mean, those are the only people who are not suffering in Nigeria today. Every other person are suffering. So yes, everybody else is suffering except those who are in that bracket. The people who claim that they want to go and do an economic council yesterday, what do they call it? They set up a committee yesterday with Dangote and the rest of them. You can set up a committee for an economic problem to be solved by the people who created the problem. Is it not Dangote them that are creating the economic problem? Are they not the ones who are doing round tripping and collecting dollars and selling in the black market? How can you set up an economic council to solve the problem and you don't have the people who are suffering themselves in that committee? So, but I'm not here to advise the federal government. I'm here to advise you to cover the event and report accurately what you see here today. That's your job as a journalist. And don't forget I'm a journalist too. No. So if you don't report what you find out here, I'll report myself.
Encourage Nigerians.
They don't need encouragement. If you are not encouraged by hunger and starvation by this time.
Yes. Thank you.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for victory. There is victory for victory. There is victory for in the struggle for our people. There is victory for forward, ever backward, never in the struggle for Nigeria. There is victory.
Okay, record. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now, today we are seeing, it's like an aggregation of protests of what we've seen over the weeks. You know, people coming together to demand an end to what they've called an unbearable cost of living crisis. And then there's also a term that I've been hearing, which is, you know, the government should do away with what they've called the IMF and World Bank policies. What does this mean to you?
The IMF and World Bank policies are the reason why the Nigerian economy is where it is today. I fought against the IMF and World Bank policies in 1989. This is 2024. And what are these policies? They came around and said, education is too expensive. Take it away from the masses. Don't give them free water. Don't give them free electricity. Privatize whatever belongs to the people. We have privatized electricity for how long now?
10 years.
What did we get? More darkness. Yesterday, Abuja had no electricity for over 10 hours. The national grid collapses every other hour. I think the only thing that collapses more than the national grid is Tinubu himself. Yes. And all the privatized organizations you have in the country, what is the productivity they are giving you? You make people lose their jobs. And what the IMF and the World Bank is merely doing is to create a Nigeria that becomes a dumping ground for the goods that are produced in their own countries. They tell you don't give subsidy. America has the largest subsidy for farmers. Go and ask anybody. America has a welfare state. In America, where I lived for 10 years, when I lost my job, I was getting paid unemployment benefits. When I came to Nigeria and I was in lockdown, America was giving me money for COVID. Nigerian leaders were stealing COVID money. Indomie. Yes. So, what are we talking about? But the World Bank keeps giving these very poisonous policies. And we are saying you should do away with them because without the World Bank, you'll be better off. What Nigeria makes on a daily basis, what it makes on a monthly basis is not to take care of Nigerians. But the World Bank will say, no, don't invest in small businesses, don't invest in education. How can you develop if you don't educate your people? How can you make it in life if you don't have electricity? The electricity situation we have now is the prescription of the World Bank since 19 when they came to Nigeria as a major force. Former President Abuja just said it the other day that the only person they are afraid of more than the World Bank is God. That when they hear the World Bank person is coming, all of them will be running up and down. There's one, they call it one Mrs. Puga. How is it that your citizens are not as important as a World Bank official that doesn't even know where Nigeria is located on the world map? That is the problem. That's the reason I call the IMF the International Monetary Fraud. This fraudulent organization bring in fraudulent ideas with people that you and I graduated with in our universities if you travel abroad. Some of the guys who are IMF country officials or country reps, they are the people who graduated a few years ago from universities that are not even up to the standard of Nigerian university, but because of the color of their skin and the connections they have, they come and be telling you about what they don't know. So that is the reason why we're saying, look, get rid of all these useless policies that say you can't take care of your people. Because you see, when you don't take care of these people, you don't give them free education, you don't give them free healthcare, you are going to have what Nigeria is having now. This idea of banditry, terrorism, and the hunger and starvation that is killing like the bad roads, they were as a result of the policies of the World Bank and the IMF, what they used to call the Structural Adjustment Program. Yes. They might change the nomenclature from time to time, but it's basically the same thing. It's the same context. Don't fund more public education. But if you study them very well, they have admitted several times that their policies don't even work. So why is anybody after such policy? But we know the reason why Tinubu is following IMF bumper to bumper. It's because he lacks legitimacy. The moment you don't win election, it's very difficult for you to resist them. If you win election, if your people vote for you, you can call their bluff. Argentina called their bluff before Brazil. Brazil is being ruled by Lula. Lula is a socialist. And the period that Brazil enjoyed the most prosperity was under Lula. That's why they brought him back again. Are you getting my point? Now, if you are flying from Lagos to Abuja, you are likely to be flying on a Brazilian-made jet. Nigeria, by the way, in the 70s, was giving money to Brazil. Nigeria was paying salaries of workers in Cuba. Yes, because why? The value of the naira was such that if you travel abroad, you are in a hurry to come back to Nigeria. But what is the value of the naira today? Even Benin Republic, their CFAO, I mean, what's they call CFA, is more valuable than Nigerian naira. The Nigerian naira is not worth the quality of the paper upon which it is printed. The Nigerian naira is equivalent to a toilet paper compared to all these African, small African countries. You know, Nigeria has nothing. It's just giant of failure. Nobody should be calling Nigeria giant of Africa. The only thing we are gigantic about is oppressing our citizens. You ask DSS to beat them up, police beat them up. That's the only thing we know how to do. You understand? That's the only thing we know how to do. So, but we must transition from that era, and without a revolution, that transition can never happen. That's why we don't deceive people that these protests by themselves or elections by themselves can solve Nigeria's problem.
Thank you for that. Now, the government is arguing that these reform policies could potentially fix Nigeria's economy, but some experts are also saying that, you know, that the government was reckless about introducing the policies because there was no cushioning effects to fall back to. Do you agree with this?
There's no need for any cushioning effects. The policies that are supposed to be in place to support children when they are born is not supposed to be ad hoc. The policies for people who are unemployed are not supposed to be ad hoc. The idea of getting buses on the highway for mass transit is not supposed to happen because there's a protest. The idea of building railway is not supposed to happen because people are planning a protest. You go and bring out all this advocacy has never helped the country. Institutionalize all these policies for social justice in the country, and you don't have to worry about it. America is not going to worry about Medicaid or Medicare because they established it a long time ago that at the age of, when you reach 65, you'll be getting mails that says, oh, join this group. They'll send you your benefits at the age of 65, including Viagra, in case you are no longer working under there. You see? And if you are poor, they give you what they call Medicaid, so that you can see a doctor whenever you are sick. When you want to go to school, they give you grants. They also grant you loans. But I don't even want Nigerians to be collecting loans because America is trying to forgive the loans they gave to people, yes, because it has become a traumatic experience for people who got loans. Why should we be giving loans to our people when we can give them grants? All we need to do is just cut down the cost of governance in the country. Why do you have to give a senator a car that is worth 160 million naira when he doesn't even go to work? Go to the Senate. Anybody that is in the media that's covering the Senate, go to Senate. If you find 16 people as we are speaking at any session, you are lucky. And out of that 16, 10 of them are falling asleep. So what are they doing there? Get rid of the Senate or get rid of the House of Rep. Give the Senate, it's enough. Sadly. Yes. So that we don't have to be buying all these cars. Use the cars to pay for education of our kids. Because the kids that are educating themselves on their own, they are the ones that are keeping this country alive. All this cryptocurrency thing you are doing, there are people who develop on their own the knowledge of what you call decentralized banking. Because there's new currency in town. And that is what is going to oust these people from power before they know it, technology. But you cannot get to that place without having people who have technological understanding of how the world works. Tinubu doesn't even know how to operate a phone, I'm sure, or an email. How can you understand cryptocurrency? How can you understand that the world is on the verge of change when it comes to how the financial system, global financial system is working? Or how to make money without having to go and carry block? That's the problem.
So finally, the government is responding to the protest. We've seen the release of grains to lower prices. We've seen also just yesterday the finance minister announced that they'll begin cash transfers to 12 million households. Do you think this is even enough, or it is just a knee-jerk reaction?
They have been doing cash transfers to people. Under Buhari, they were doing cash transfer. But the question you should ask is that to whom is the cash being transferred? You know, have you ever collected the cash transfer before? I've never received it before, and I don't know anybody here has ever received it. And there's a lot of poor people here who should be collected because the cash transfers are going to the pocket of the political operatives of the major political parties. We don't need cash transfers. Put in place social safety nets. Let there be a social security system in place that people can draw from without having to wait for government to say we are doing trader money. That was what Oshibajo did until he became. Yes. I don't know if you still have some of those things now. Why is Oshibajo no longer doing trader money? Because it never worked. It was a gimmick to fool people. So conditional, the word conditional cash transfer itself is a very tricky little word. That means the money might get to you or it may not get to its final destination. That's what conditional means. So they might want to just press send and decide not to send the money. So it's a scam. It's a scam. So please stop listening to all these people in government. They have no new ideas. Listen to us, those of us who want to change this country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, we have told them, make the refineries work. For 8 years, they said one is about to work last year, December. That was the Port Harcourt. The labor leaders were supposed to go and visit. They said the plane that was supposed to take them developed port in Abuja. Till today, they have not seen the refinery because there's no refinery anywhere. But this is the same country that helped Dangote to build the refinery. Cannot repair its own refinery.
In Africa.
It's a shame, and we must admit it. And this is an opportunity to tell the people that they use, be it all those people you call experts, the security agencies that are being used, that if they don't stop, they will become victims of the same system. Because Nigerians have been pushed to the edge, and any moment from now, anything can happen. That's it. Even those of us who are here leading this protest might become irrelevant when the real hungry people take over the struggle. Yes.
Sorry, what steps should federal government take to address this economic hardship that Nigerians are facing?
I cannot be advising the federal government. I don't. I cannot advise the federal government of people who are deaf and dumb. That's the problem.
Advising them because they are all
Yes, we have told them what to do.
They should reduce their cabinet.
Yes. We have
They should reduce their cabinet.
What they can hear now is Go ahead.
No, they should reduce their cabinet.
They should dissolve their cabinet, dissolve themselves. Let the people